On his first day at work, Tsukasa Mizugaki hurries to Terminal Service Number 1, an office within Psycorp. There, he learns about Giftia, androids that run on fake souls and can only live for up to 9 years and 4 months. Tsukasa teams up with Isla, a respected Giftia who knows a lot about plants and tea. Their trainers, Michiru Kineshima and Zack, take them out on a mission to retrieve a Giftia. Michiru explains their job to Tsukasa as Zack demonstrates. Tsukasa and Isla are later given a mission to bring back Nina, a childlike Giftia who belongs to an elderly woman named Chizu Shirahana. Despite Isla's attempts to persuade her, Chizu is initially reluctant to let Nina go. Tsukasa begins to doubt Isla's abilities. Eventually, Isla convinces Nina to leave in order to avoid causing any problems for Chizu, whom she cares for deeply. Chizu realizes that she had not considered Nina's feelings and agrees to let her go. Tsukasa apologizes and Chizu thanks him. Tsukasa meets Yasutaka Hinata, an experienced worker at Terminal Service Number 1 where Yasutaka is distant and irritates Tsukasa's partner Sherry. When Yasutaka asks about Tsukasa's job, Tsukasa admits his dad's friend helped him get hired after he failed his entrance exams. After a mission goes wrong and Tsukasa gets scolded, he takes the blame instead of Isla, his partner. Later, Tsukasa learns Isla's physical abilities are declining due to her short lifespan as a Giftia. Tsukasa decides to take over negotiating with Giftia owners instead of Isla, even though it's not his job. Tsukasa puts together his own manual with help from Michiru and Zack. Yasutaka tells Tsukasa that Isla's abilities will continue to decline because she's a Giftia, and he learns that Isla has less than 3 months to live. Eventually, Tsukasa and Isla succeed in retrieving a Giftia they were assigned to. Meanwhile, Kozuki Kuwanomi and Yasutaka talk about Isla's lifespan, which is less than 2,000 hours. Tsukasa is required to live with Isla in the company dormitory, which is mandatory for all spotter and marksman duos in Terminal Service Number 1. However, he is uneasy because Isla ignores him repeatedly in the dorm. Tsukasa seeks advice from his colleagues about how to get her attention, but nothing works. Eventually, Kozuki tells him that Isla is always like this during her personal time, not just with him. Kozuki suggests that Tsukasa should take Isla somewhere if he wants to interact with her. He takes her to a shopping mall where they visit a herb shop. Tsukasa asks Isla to help him choose herbs for someone who is similar to her. They then go to an amusement park, and Tsukasa admits that the person he described was Isla herself. However, Isla becomes upset and tells him that she was not created to have fun at amusement parks. She runs away, leaving Tsukasa stunned. Later, Tsukasa buys a keyring pendant from the amusement park and gives it to Isla, telling her she can throw it away if she doesn't like it. Despite Iru telling Tsukasa that Isla doesn't accept gifts, Isla accepts the keychain and apologizes for running away earlier. The staff at Terminal Service Number 1 is given 7 new retrieval missions, and Tsukasa and Isla are assigned to retrieve a Giftia called Marcia. They are warned about criminals who pose as Terminal Service employees to sell Giftia on the black market. When they arrive at Marcia's residence, they discover that she has been caring for Sauda Wakane, who lost his parents and sees Marcia as a sister. Sauda is hostile towards Tsukasa and Isla, but reluctantly agrees to sign the agreement form. Tsukasa confides in Michiru about the encounter, and she suggests they show Sauda that Marcia truly loves him. They plan a surprise birthday party for Sauda, baking a cake with Marcia's assistance. Michiru tells Tsukasa about her father, who became a wanderer after she tried to prevent his retrieval. Sauda is touched by the gesture and remembers his family, apologizing to Marcia. However, on the day before the retrieval, Sauda is visited by a suspicious man who claims to be their replacement from Terminal Service and demands Marcia. As they return home with groceries, Marcia is suddenly ambushed by the man from the previous episode. When Sauda contacts Tsukasa and Isla about Marcia's disappearance, they assume that it's the work of a black market retriever. With only 24 hours left on Marcia's lifespan, Tsukasa sets out to retrieve her and return her to Sauda, with the help of the rest of Terminal Service Number 1. The search narrows down to an area where a black market retrieval service is likely located, but they are hindered by a private security firm hired to assist in the investigation. Kozuki confronts the supervisor of the security unit, Shinonome, who gives her a map of the area under scrutiny. As the team prepares to converge on the area, Tsukasa learns about a gun-like device that is designed to forcibly crash all of a Giftia's functions when they turn into wanderers. He is then approached by Kozuki, who questions whether Isla will be able to handle the situation. However, Kozuki is forced to drop the subject soon afterward. Later, Michiru tells Tsukasa about Kozuki's failed attempt to retrieve her father when he became a wanderer, resulting in him being shot down by members of our security. When the black market retriever is found unconscious, it is discovered that Marcia has turned into a wanderer. Kozuki orders the team to stop Marcia before she is destroyed by our security. Tsukasa and Isla find Marcia, but Sauda has been following them. During the encounter, Marcia injures Isla and kidnaps Sauda. Tsukasa nearly convinces Marcia to surrender on the rooftop, but when Sauda speaks her name, Marcia snaps and begins strangling him. Tsukasa prepares to use his software destruction device to stop Marcia, but Isla suddenly dashes towards Marcia just as Tsukasa fires the device. The following morning, the terminal service office reveals that Isla has not signed into the attendance log. 3 years prior, it is unveiled that Isla began blaming herself for not accompanying Kazuki when she retrieved Michiru's father, which ultimately caused Kazuki to injure her ankle and retire from her role as Isla's spotter. In the current time, it is disclosed that Marcia was struck by Tsukasa's device, although Isla was able to shield herself and absorb most of the impact. With Isla now in the process of being repaired for the injuries sustained during the incident with Marcia, Tsukasa is temporarily reassigned to a desk job. After Tsukasa visits her during her maintenance, Isla notes that he remains upbeat despite what happened and privately questions his feelings towards the matter. Once most of her repairs are completed, Isla returns to the office and realizes that she has been paying more attention to Tsukasa lately. She confides in Michiru and Iru about her thoughts, but they misunderstand her emotions as being motivated by romantic love, and Iru decides to help Isla follow Tsukasa. However, after several failed attempts at observing him, Isla confesses to Michiru about her confusion with Tsukasa's unwavering positivity. Michiru reveals that Tsukasa never forgot about the Marcia incident, even neglecting his desk duties to apologize to Sauda for what happened, and assumes that he is smiling through his pain. Once her maintenance is finished, Isla returns to the dorm, but Tsukasa is not there. As night falls and Tsukasa fails to return home, she goes to the office where she learns from Tsukasa that she has only 1,000 hours left in her lifespan, which translates to a month. Despite being offered a new partner, Tsukasa insists on staying with Isla, which makes her overjoyed. One day, Tsukasa wants to ask Isla out on a date. He notices that she has been doing a lot of work for him lately and asks her why. She tells him that she wants to be useful to him, which surprises him. When he finally gathers the courage to ask her out, she agrees to go to an amusement park after discussing it with her friends Michiru and Iru. Isla feels guilty about leaving Tsukasa alone during their previous visit there, so she suggests going back. However, while reading Isla's diary, Tsukasa realizes that the amusement park was a special place for her and her former partner Kazuki. They used to go there often. Despite this, Tsukasa takes Isla on a tour of the park, including all the attractions. They end up at Isla's favorite spot, a bench where she could watch the happy faces of people. Then, they ride the Ferris wheel and Isla expresses her gratitude to Tsukasa for making her so happy. However, Tsukasa has been overworking himself lately and faints during their date. When he wakes up, Isla apologizes for not telling him that she only has 1,000 hours left in her lifespan. Tsukasa promises to stay with her until the end, no matter what. He asks her if she would like to go on another date with him, and she agrees with a smile. Later, as Tsukasa sleeps, Isla watches him with a doubtful look. During a job, Tsukasa is surprised when a person decides to erase a Giftia's personality and memories instead of giving it back, which is what they were supposed to do. This person has done it many times before, and Tsukasa is curious if the Giftia's old memories remain. But everyone at work says it has never happened before. Later on, Tsukasa and Isla are asked to help a marksman from another office to retrieve a Giftia who has gone missing with its owner. During the mission, they meet the marksman, Andy, and have an awkward encounter with another person who mistakes her for someone else. They complete the mission successfully, but Tsukasa learns that Andy is really someone else whose memory has been erased. Afterward, Iru tells Tsukasa that Andy is someone she used to know named Olivia, and they used to go to a carnival together. Iru doesn't want to remember Olivia, and tries to get Tsukasa to take Andy to the carnival instead. But Tsukasa convinces Iru to come along, and they take Isla and Andy to the carnival. At the carnival, Iru decides to make new memories with Andy instead of dwelling on the past. Meanwhile, Isla gets lost and Tsukasa finds her scared by some fireworks. Isla asks if Andy's presence hurts him, and he admits it does, but he still wants to be her partner. When Isla asks why, Tsukasa confesses that he loves her, but Isla cannot accept his love and gets upset. After Isla rejected Tsukasa's confession at the carnival, he became sad and mopey, which everyone could tell at work. The Chiru asked Isla what happened, and Isla explained that she felt bad about hurting Tsukasa's feelings. The Chiru suggested they spend some time apart to sort out their feelings, so Isla moved into Iru's room and Tsukasa moved into Michiru's room with Zack. The Chiru comforted Tsukasa and shared why she joined Terminal Service Number 1. She also arranged for Tsukasa and Isla to have lunch together to talk about their feelings. They agreed to give Isla more time to think about her feelings. The Chiru wasn't sure if her plan was working when she saw Tsukasa and Isla acting like normal coworkers at work. One day, she asked Isla about her feelings, and Isla explained that she did return Tsukasa's feelings, but must stay away from him because she only had 1 month left to live. The Chiru was upset when she found out, and confronted Tsukasa about his intentions. He explained that he wanted to create memories with Isla. When Kozuki announced that she wanted to dissolve their partnership, Tsukasa was devastated. Kozuki explains that Tsukasa and Isla can no longer work together because the company prohibits romantic relationships. Kozuki plans to reassign them to different partners, Tsukasa to Constance and herself to Isla. Tsukasa objects, but Isla agrees, believing that it's for the best. Tsukasa confronts Kozuki, and she admits that she did it to protect them from heartbreak. Tsukasa insists on staying as Isla's partner, but Kozuki tells him to leave the matter to her. Later, Tsukasa and Isla go on separate missions with their new partners. Isla agrees to befriend a Giftia named Sarah to help her live a normal life. Tsukasa and Constance discuss Isla's performance and her past isolation after Kozuki dissolved their partnership. Constance reveals that Kozuki has faith in Tsukasa's abilities as Isla's spotter. Back at the office, Kozuki admits to setting up Isla's mission and urges her to stay with Tsukasa to avoid causing him pain. Isla reflects on her unfulfilled expectations from her separation from Kozuki. The next day, Isla tells Tsukasa that she rejected him because she was afraid of causing him pain, but now she wants to make memories with him until the end, and confesses her love for him. After starting their romantic relationship, Tsukasa and Isla feel shy and nervous around each other. Despite this, Tsukasa manages to ask Isla out to dinner. Their colleagues at the office offer to help them figure out how to make each other happy. Kozuki suggests that Isla learn how to cook for Tsukasa, so she asks Michiru for help. But when Isla realizes she doesn't know Tsukasa's favorite foods, he suggests they cook together. They settle on making rice omelets for dinner. Later, they visit Antonio's manor to see Sarah. Tsukasa asks Sarah what makes her happy, and she repeats Isla's advice that people are happiest when they are with the ones they love. Then they go to the mall to buy herbs and pajamas for Isla. Tsukasa confesses he doesn't know how to make Isla happy, but she tells him that spending time together makes her happy. They return home to cook together, and although their rice omelets don't turn out perfectly, they enjoy them. Isla then shares her diary with Tsukasa, which recounts their time spent together. Before Tsukasa goes to sleep, Isla writes about how much she enjoyed spending the day with him and hopes to have more wonderful days together. Isla cries in the middle of the night and seeks comfort by sleeping in Tsukasa's bed. The next day, she is unexpectedly cheerful, which makes Tsukasa feel relieved. At work, their coworkers give Tsukasa tickets to different events that he could take Isla to, and they decide to watch a romantic movie with tickets given by Michiru and Zack. Despite having taken a day off, they return to work the next day. Michiru and Aru discuss Isla's frequent visits to the unit testing room. Meanwhile, Kozuki gives Tsukasa a form to sign, which is an agreement for Isla's retrieval. Isla teaches Tsukasa how to grow herbs and make tea. When asked why they came to work despite taking the day off, Tsukasa says it was their decision. Later, Isla approves the retrieval agreement form that Tsukasa gives her. They go on their last retrieval mission together, and Isla whispers something to Sarah before erasing her memories. After returning to the office, their coworkers hold a party to celebrate Isla's last mission. Tsukasa asks Isla about what she told Sarah, and she says that she hopes they will be reunited with the person they cherish. On Isla's last day of life, she and Tsukasa decide to spend it by first reading entries in her diary. Isla works as a Giftia, an android with human-like qualities, and has reached the end of her lifespan. She and Tsukasa, her human partner at the terminal service, have grown close during their time together. After reading her diary, they spend the morning cleaning their dormitory room and then take a bath. Later, they head over to the terminal service office, where they take care of Isla's herbs and she leaves notes for the other employees. They are approached by Kozuki, another terminal service employee, and Isla's former partner, who teases Isla for one last time. Afterwards, Tsukasa and Isla decide to spend the day's remaining hours at the amusement park, which they enjoy to their heart's content. Eventually, they stand at Isla's favorite bench, where she describes how she always observed the emotions of the park's many visitors and how contented they would be at the end of the day in bringing their happy memories home with them. Then, as the park closes, Tsukasa and Isla convince the operator to let them ride the Ferris wheel one last time after closing hours. There, they take turns describing what they love about each other, and Isla finally admits she loved the way Tsukasa held back his sadness and smiled, despite her worry over that characteristic. She then hands him her deactivation ring, saying that she wanted him to be the one to do it. Tsukasa begins crying, and Isla notes that it was the first time she ever saw him cry. He then puts the ring on, expresses his hope that she would be reunited with the person they cherished, and kisses Isla as her time expires. As he carries her to the vehicle, he is met by Kozuki, who thanks him for being there for her, which causes him to break down in tears. The other terminal service employees read Isla's letters, in which she thanks them for all the memories she had of them. In the epilogue, Tsukasa takes the same elevator where he met Isla and muses what it would be like if his lifespan was predetermined, concluding afterward that he would live that life to the fullest. 9 months later, he returns from a training course to resume work with Terminal Service Number 1 and is introduced to his new Giftia. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.